Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Today I'm going to be making a batten board for the front porch. Underneath the door there's a board that goes along, and it's kind of a kickboard. It goes underneath the threshold and faces off the house down to the concrete deck of the front porch. And the board that was in there had been there for 60 some years. It's a piece of cedar siding, held up well. It had been used and abused over the years. It's got a lot of paint on it. It's kind of flaky. And when we had the new front porch poured, the contractor pulled it off and it came apart in pieces. That's okay. I'm going to replace this with a piece of treated lumber made out of 5/4 treated lumber. And what I've done, the new spacing for the front porch board is 4 1/8 from the bottom to the top and 40 1/4 overall length. So I just took a piece of decking, ripped out a piece of wood, cross-cut it, and now I have my board. All that remains to be done is the final planing on the top of it, and for that I'm going to be using this Coontz Manufacturing Company 25-inch joiner stamped across the front of the body. Now the blade in this plane is a Sandusky Tool Company. I imagine Coontz bought their blade from Sandusky. Sandusky would be an iron working company and Coontz would be a woodworking company to make the body. Either way, it's a pretty cool plane. Now somebody at some point put this steel wear plate on the bottom of it. It needs a little fettling. It's got some hammer marks and some dings on it, but it still works pretty good. So rather than mess with that, I'm going to give it a try. Now I've got it set to cut a fairly aggressive chip, so I'm going to retract the blade just a little bit so I cut just a little bit less, and I'm going to cut a bevel along the top of this board. Now, right now I've got about a 10-degree bevel on there. I'm just going to finish taking it off all the way across the top. And smooth it out. The nice thing about a 25-inch joiner is it's so big that it rides over the top of any valleys and only cuts off the high points. So when you're done, you have a flat, straight board. Now this is cutting really good considering I didn't even touch the blade. This is just as I got it from Ernie. That's pretty cool. Ernie also gave me a couple other planes. This one is for cutting tongue and groove, or you could cut shiplap. The tongue and groove would be a pretty hefty one, but it doesn't have the proper blade in it for cutting tongue and groove. This would work as a rabbet. You could actually use it as a rabbet plane just as it is. And this plane is going to take a little bit of work before it's ready to run. It cuts. So we're going to have to put a new blade in here, but I have some old one, and I think I can make a new blade for it. So I'm going to clean up the mess that little plane made with the joiner. Yep, got my taper back on there. And that took out the wrinkles and chips. I don't want to have a lot of rough surface on the top of that board because I want the water to just run off of it. Now, it's going to be up underneath the threshold, and I don't believe water will even ever hit this thing. But if it does, rather than flowing uphill and down the backside towards the house, it's going to roll off the front. Now I just have to paint it, and it's ready to go up. How many of you guys recognize what this is? I'll give you a hint. It's a tool, but it's a pig tool. Thanks for the planes, Ernie. These are really, really nice.